Hey there. Have you ever bought or purchased a lottery ticket? You know, a chance to win a big jackpot of money? Well, right at the beginning of this year, in January, I read where someone had bought the winning ticket to a mega jackpot. And if that person comes forward with a ticket, they will take home, they will win, they will collect $425 million. That boggles the mind. So I got curious. What do people do with the money that they win? I have some interesting things to tell you. And yes, the background's different. I'm watching grandkids this week in Tampa, so I'm in their house and recording from there. And I don't know if they have a printer, but I've got my notes on my phone, so I will be consulting them once in a while.
English without fear, where you can learn to speak English naturally through listening to stories.
Okay, so what do people do with their winnings? Some good things I read came from people who had won smaller jackpots, but still. One woman who works on her feet, she stands a lot, needed a knee replacement and did not have the money for surgery. So she was able to pay for that with her lottery wins. Another person was going through chemo treatment for cancer, and they had huge, large bills. They owed the hospital a lot of money, and now they were going to be able to pay for their chemotherapy treatments. Let's see. Oh, one man paid off the mortgage on his house. You know, when you buy a house and you don't have the money and you borrow from the bank or a mortgage company, you pay every month. He was able to pay all that off and own his house free and clear. Someone else, a woman, paid off her son's mortgage on his house. What a lucky son. Oh, there was a British man who went and traveled and paid for the trip for all 13 of his family members. They came from England to Florida and went to Disney World. And then he started a round the world luxury trip for himself. People have bought dream houses, big fancy houses, cars, sports cars, Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, you name it. They have invested, they have put the money in the stock market, they have set up trust funds for children to take care of them, and they have supported different causes, different charities, or different programs. One man believed so much in the legalization of marijuana that he donated $1 million to one of his, I think the state he lived in. But this couple in New York, I liked this. They donated $1 million to start the construction of a water park, a water amusement park where you can participate and enjoy water sports. They did that where they live in New York State and named it after their parents. I thought that was great. Happy children. But then there are the stories of the not so happy endings. Oh, one family bought a luxury house and somehow the house burned down and it was not insured. And with all the repair bills, they ran out of money. They went through all their lottery winnings. There was one woman who her husband thought she was spending money frivolously, frivolously. That means wasting money, and so he murdered her. One woman, her husband left her, took the Porsche, the car, and drove off to be with his girlfriend because she discovered that he had been seeing this other woman for 14 years. But now that he had the money and a Porsche, he could leave her. Oh, this is sad. One person committed suicide after wasting the money on partying and buying extravagant gifts for friends. Like one night at a party, he said, "Sure, I'll buy any of you a big color TV." And he bought 8 televisions. He just wasted the money. And he invested in a business and it failed. There were stories of people who bought all the fun toys that the world offers and ended up spending it all and going back to their minimum wage job and being content to get back to what they felt comfortable with. Well, what would you do with say $10 million? If you won $10 million and that was after you had to pay the government taxes, what would you do? I was thinking about that. I was actually daydreaming about that. And here's what I would do. $10 million, I would give 25%, 1/4, to different Christian organizations and other charities that I believe in. Certainly something to do with learning languages. Then I would invest or save 25%. Then I would start a tradition. Once a year, we would gather our extended family, and we have right now 6 grandchildren, and go on a family-friendly vacation, family reunion. We would do that once a year, a different place every year. And then once a year, Mike and I would travel luxuriously, not frivolously, but in luxury. We would travel somewhere. And of course, I love Europe, but maybe I'd want to go somewhere else after so many trips. So what do I imagine? How do I picture us traveling in luxury? I would book us passage on a fancy ocean liner. There's one called the Queen Mary II. And it takes you 5 days to get from New York to London or Southampton with no jet lag. And I would go, well, it's all first class. That ship is all first class. And we would spend several weeks in Europe, and then we would fly back first class. I've always wanted to do that. Do you know if you go on a long flight and when you board the plane and you have to pass through first class and you see those reclining, lounging, almost you could sleep in cubicles where you have lots of leg room. Oh my goodness. And then you get to your seat and you're crowded in like a cattle car. Anyway, I would like to do that. So that's my pipe dream, my daydream, were I to win $10 million. But I don't think I will because I don't intend on buying a lottery ticket. What about you? Tell me. Is that something you do regularly, like every week, or every once in a while, or never? But it's fun to dream, isn't it? Well, that's it for this episode. I'm Maria from English Without Fear. Talk to you next time.